Time to play my favorite RPG. Should I start Skyrim, The Witcher 3, Forza Motorsport 8, or Baldur's Gate 3? Wait, am I tripping? What does Forza Motorsport 8 do in this list? And with that, welcome back to Overtake. Forza Motorsport 8 is drawing closer, and with it, the excitement of fans. After a promotional campaign that felt like a decade, it seems like now all hands are on deck for a release of the racing giant in October. A whole deep dive alongside a Forza monthly that was nearly 2 hours long was released a couple of weeks back. In it, we got to see the first bit of gameplay from the career, and I have to tell you, there's a lot to discuss, especially when it comes to the new CarPG elements. You ask yourself how those will look like? Let's take a look. It seems like Microsoft will approach Forza Motorsport 8 with a big offline focus this time. You see, for pretty much the first time ever, as far as I remember, a racing game title is going full-on role-playing game. In Forza Motorsport 8, you will use XP, which is earned in real time by practicing or racing, in order to build, upgrade, and race freely. The system behind it is called Car Mastery. It is basically leveling up your knowledge of a certain car in a series. XP is collected by taking corners correctly and being faster than your previous PB, for example. We have seen a gamified version of practice sessions more and more in recent times in racing games. F1 is a good example of that, but in Forza Motorsport 8, the earned XP has implications on the whole game. Or content also has implications on the future of sim racing YouTube. So be sure to leave a like, a sub, and a tap on that bell so you are part of this awesome community and witness everything in real time. But back to FM8. Gamified practice sessions like we will see in Forza Motorsport 8 are fun and useful. But if the main focus is starting to lie on the accumulation of points and credits during them, then you may miss the target you set yourself. Tracks are rarely learned by acquiring points or following a task. It's a combination of muscle memory and trial and error. If the task in Forza Motorsport 8 is always take the corner correctly, I am asking, what does that even mean? At this point in time, it's really a mystery. And it's up to the final version to deliver something that's not repetitive as well. The big upside of this system is, of course, that it harmonizes very well with the RPG type game. Another part is also pretty neat in that regard. Credits earned through Car Mastery will only be able to be used for upgrades and are exclusive for that purpose. You may be surprised, but you will be able to reallocate them at your desire. You can install and uninstall parts to your liking, which is very much like reskilling a character after realizing you like another path. All of this is supported by the way the game moves about. You will have an overall level, which will help you to unlock new series and therefore new cars that you can choose to upgrade and reskill the way you want. The most bonus points from my side come from the extensive work on single-player racing. In my opinion, with all its delays and murky announcements, FM8 really ran the risk of just vanishing in comparison to GT7. But with all of the things announced now, you can clearly see what Microsoft is trying to do here. A unique approach in terms of gameplay and career could help to differentiate Forza Motorsport 8 from its competitors in no time, and eventually turn it into an evergreen if done correctly. A lot of us had the guilty pleasure of playing an RPG way more than was healthy in the past, but that genre combined with racing is definitely a first. But what are some of the more general news we got to hear about FM8? Every good offline role-playing game needs a strong career or story. The new competition behind the career in Forza Motorsport 8 will be the Builders Cup, a newly founded way to incorporate a very easy-to-follow structure to your single-player racing. Race weekends consist of a free practice session to learn the track and gain XP, a challenge the grid part in which you choose your starting position for the race, and the race itself. The further down you start your race, the more credits you can earn to upgrade your ride and smash your opponents even more the next time. Although I have to say, I am not too sold on the whole choose your own grid spot type of approach. Starting last or even midfield of a 20-car race and trying to win it in 4 laps should be impossible for any kind of realistic racing, which is what Forza seems to aim for more and more. In the recent announcements, we also got to see some of the improved AI we will talk about later. But what's the point of an improved AI and tougher racing if we get the GT7 treatment of washing everybody from the back again? Role-playing aspect aside, I really hope it's a bit more adaptive than it looked. But the career mode wasn't the only thing Microsoft talked about in their videos. We also got to hear some very interesting details in terms of gameplay. Forza Motorsport 8 is trying to lure in a broad audience, you can tell. But most importantly, they do not seem to forget its roots, because some of the announced gameplay changes really sound promising. First up, let's look at the tire model. Something I could definitely attest to in the past was Forza Motorsport did not stand for an amazing feeling of car on track. It had other ways to shine, but it seems Microsoft is tackling that exact issue in a hope of gaining some of that sim in Simcade back. A tire in Forza Motorsport used to have a single point of contact to the tarmac, which refreshed at 60 Hz. Now they upped that to 8 points of contact and 360 Hz. So that's a lot of contact and a lot of points, and 48 times the fidelity. No, I'm not doing that joke again. A bit more of a nuanced explanation would sound a little bit more like this. Now it is possible that uneven surfaces, like curbs, can be calculated much better and much more precise in FM8. It should give cars a new way to access the feeling which was previously lacking. If you are looking for a near 30-minute tire talk, the newest Forza Monthly should be providing you with exactly that and more insight than I could ever give you. Aside from tires, we also got a glimpse of the new AI. It's an evolved version of Drivatar, which used to be a big buzzword in the past. But now it seems to be something really worth mentioning. If you look at what GT7 has done with Sophie, it was pretty obvious that Microsoft needed to do something to parallel that. Not in the very least, because Sophie is so highly touted by everyone who was able to race against it up until now. But it seems like that is the case in Forza Motorsport 8. They are still a little bit non-committal when it comes to anything concrete about the new AI. The general gist that I got was that the AI is just way more human, will make mistakes and just not drive behind each other until you, the human player, decide to overtake them. The number being tossed around is 26,000 laps that the AI did on every single circuit to find the perfect lines and the limitations on every single track. So almost as many laps as Michael did on the Nordschleife. It remains to be seen how exactly the new AI will evolve in FM8. Without being too pessimistic, playing devil's advocate here, every racing game ever has told their biosphere that their AI is ultra realistic and fair to race. So let's see where we end up here. Some additional changes are weather updates with constantly evolving grip as you drive, in the wet for example, and improved wheel support, which we will hear a bit more about in the upcoming weeks as we edge further towards the release. And if everything stays the way it is, or even picks up a little bit, we may be in for a real classic here. However, if Forza Motorsport 8 all of a sudden has tons of microtransactions in their game, then you may see it in another list like the one we did recently. For now, that is all from us. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, cheerio.